When I put out this recipe, the first thing people were like, what's Okara? I don't understand what Okara is. How, Okara is not Okara flour. It's not soy flour. I've done no experiments with that. So let me show you what this is. So this machine, this is my favorite large milk maker that plugs in. It makes soups. It does soy milk. A lot of people like the almond cow. There's nothing wrong with the almond cow, and I have a whole post about all the different milk makers, so you can find the one that's good for you. I love soy milk. And basically, I can either put a half a cup of soaked soy beans or a half a cup of not soaked soybeans. Fill it up with water. I plug it in, I click the soy setting, and it does its magic. So I made some this morning. It's been sitting around a little bit. So this is what it looks like inside. Sometimes I'll use a double strainer like this. You could use a nut milk bag. Nut milk bags creep me out, so I don't use them. And I'll probably spill some of this. Now, I will say the Miomat makes a pretty fine Okara. So we're not going to get as much out of it as maybe we would something else. So, and you can see, I don't know if you saw the heat came out. So there was a little, so I just kind of go through here and see there's the Okara. And it's very fine. It's almost sour cream-esque from the Miomat. And you'll see that, I'm just going to use one, just to make it simple for you guys. Usually I would use two. But why make it more complicated except for the fact that I'm Kathy Hester, and in addition to being obsessed with fondue, I like to make my life more complicated sometimes. You do better. And so whenever I make any non-dairy milk, this is how I strain it. I especially strain oat milk through this. I will say I'm going to have to let this soak because I let this sit a while. If you're making homemade soy milk, please do yourself just the very best favor and clean it as soon as it's done. And I did that with this part, which is what whirs it up, because I'm not going to scrub this for 3 days. It takes 5 minutes or a lot of time. So you can see it really is nothing too terribly complicated. And if you don't like soy milk, you probably could use almond pulp if you make almond milk. You probably could even use rice pulp if you make rice milk. And it doesn't have to be through the Miomat. You can make it in your Vitamix. You can kind of see how smooth it is. I like to use the leftover and make ricotta. That's my favorite thing to do with Okara. And actually in Kathy's Cooking Club, we just did a milk pulp class. So kind of my thing, I like to reuse this because look, do you know how much Kite Hill ricotta costs now? It's $10 for that amount. This is free stuff I might normally throw out. So that's where Okara comes from.